Hi, my name is Will. I'm the Bald Book Geek. All of my links are in the doobly-doo. There's been news, and I don't mess this up, Disney. Disney have bought the rights to the Eragon series by Christopher Paolini. I have very not particularly nice feelings towards Disney at all, and Disney tend to ruin everything they touch. So let's get into this. Hi. So we all know the Eragon movie was bad. There is no way around that. It's worth watching for Jeremy Irons, and Jeremy Irons alone. The rest of the movie is absolutely piss poor. It's dire, and it's probably up there as, not the worst movie I've ever seen, but definitely in, my top 50 list. Disney have bought the rights, and I'm worried they're going to do what they do with everything. Milk the franchise. They're already going to milk Predator to death. They're going to milk Alien to death. They're milking Marvel to death and injecting an element of woke, which is not a good thing, because it doesn't need it. They also hired Brie Larson, and I pick on Brie Larson, but Brie Larson is unlikable and just comes across as a bitch. But that's just my humble opinion. On the other side of it, they're going to milk this, and I'm worried that they're going to take these 4 quite chunkster novels. I mean, the Eragon series is huge, and it was and I will admit that it's flawed. The first book is basically Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, with dragons. It actually, probably the first book and a half. It follows those tropes so well that it's almost funny in parts. But it was my gateway drug into fantasy, and progressively they've got better and better and better, those 4 books. Although technically it's a trilogy, so the final book is actually the last 2, it just kept growing. It's one of those things that if Disney ruin it, they're going to ruin it badly. And I have concerns. I'm concerned they're going to, A, break it up and do all this and inject it with stuff that doesn't need to be there. B, I think they're going to milk it, like I said at the beginning, until it's dead. You keep flogging a dead horse over and over, people are going to get sick of it. And C, I'm worried they're going to change it. You don't need to inject woke culture into a series that actually has strong women and great characters, and it's fun. It's a kids' fantasy series, I think. I'm not sure who these books are aimed at, in all fairness. They're great first fantasy novels, but they don't need to interject it with this person and that person and, we must get this person in it. No, they need to stick to the books. They need to keep to the series, the books, the narrative, the story. Yes, they could expand upon things. I mean, Chris Paolini has published countless little expansions on things over the years and little insights, and I hope that he's involved in this. I worry that Disney are just going to end up doing what they've done with Star Wars, which is basically milk it until it's no longer a special event. I worried they're going to do what they did with Predator, what they're going to do with Predator. I've already seen those plans. The Alien franchise, which is even more worrying. I'm picturing a xenomorph with Mickey Mouse ears and a bow tie, and I don't know why that's in my head. What I will say is that if Eragon is done right, it could be amazing. But to be honest, Eragon needs a Game of Thrones style adaptation. Big, epic. It needs to keep the tone in check, because it's quite a light fantasy. It's dark in moments, but there are moments of lightness and humour. And they need to do that. There is so many ways they can fuck this up, and that's being real about it. Disney have a habit of destroying franchises. They're buying everything. I'm not a big lover of the MCU, but they seem to keep milking it. And they're also the fact that I refuse to get Disney Plus because censorship and countless other things, and Disney's sort of in bed with China, which I fundamentally disagree with. They make movies, they will censor for a Chinese audience, which I find so strange, but that's where they'll make money. Disney are also hypocritical when it comes to pride, to say the least on the subject. I love classic Disney. I love films like Toy Story and Little Mermaid and Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and Peter Pan and Cinderella, and I can list off hundreds of Disney films that I love. Mary Poppins, 101 Dalmatians, not the Cruella movie. There is I can list off countless properties of Disney that I love, but their inability to create something original, to create something new, but just to rely on milking nostalgia until it's flogging a dead horse up a hill, you kind of end up with this sort of vacuum of nothingness. Star Wars has become that, and they're trying to redeem it, and they're working on it with The Mandalorian, although I don't like The Mandalorian. I just don't. I can't get into it. I just like Disney. Don't ruin this, but I know they are. And on that note, I'm also worried about Disney, about Amazon's Lord of the Rings, because what I'm hearing, it's going to be Lord of the Woke, or Woke of the Rings, which is kind of terrifying. So yeah, my only advice with Eragon is keep true to it. Don't milk it until it's dead. Focus on those 4 novels. Focus on that story. You don't need to go any other direction. But Disney being Disney, they're going to ruin this, and I do worry. Stop ruining my childhood.